Rated M for movies.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Rated M for Movies podcast. My name is Matt. Today I got my review for you for the BFG. It's directed by the legendary Steven Spielberg and stars Mark Rylance and Ruby Barnhill. So let's get right into it. Without spoiling too much, the BFG tells the story of a giant who takes this little girl named Sophie into his land. They call it Giant Country. That's all I'm going to say because the trailers keep it very vague. They do a very good job of keeping it as vague as possible. So Steven Spielberg's direction in this film is absolutely fantastic. I mean, everything looks really great. It has this feel to it. It feels like an old school Disney film, I think. I feel like that type of stuff, you know, it kind of feels like they could make a ride out of this at Disney World or something like that. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was a really great choice to make a film like that again. It feels like something from like the 90s or even later than that. It's awesome. The motion capture is brilliant. I'll get into that a little bit later, but the use of that is outstanding in this film. I love that. You know, there's a great sense of scale with all the giants. You know, obviously a little girl named Sophie, she's just this tiny little thing. When you see this big CGI giant, I mean, he actually feels huge compared to her. And, you know, they do a lot of great stuff with, like, the scale, especially with some of the shots and stuff like that. The script is also really great. There's a lot of witty, like, writing in it. You know, like I said, it feels like an old school Disney film, especially with the BFG himself, played by Mark Rylance. He has a lot of great witty humor. His character has, like, sort of like a speech impediment almost. Like, he can't really say stuff right in the movie. And, you know, that plays a lot into the script. And how they delivered that in the film with the script was absolutely fantastic. I love that part. That was great. And, you know, Mark Rylance, like I said, is great as the BFG. The motion capture for him is probably some of the best I've ever seen in a film. Even when, you know, he's obviously this big giant, and, you know, you can't compare the motion capture technology to like an actual human, but I thought the expressions that he made, you know, every little detail you could see on his face with the motion capture, it looked fantastic. And Ruby Barnhill is good as Sophie. This is actually her first movie. You know, she's a young actress, very young actress, but I thought she did really great in the performance. You know, having to work with pretty much a green screen the whole time is not easy, but I think she pulled it off pretty well. And John Williams' score is excellent in the film. It brings the film to life. It brings a lot of its charm. And I keep going back to this, but it feels like an old school Disney film, you know. His score really brought the film to life for me, especially in the first 2/3 of it. It really helped a lot. I loved the score. That was one of my favorite parts of the film. That's probably one of my favorite scores of the year, too. Great score by John Williams. The third act of the film, unfortunately, loses a lot of its charm that the first two acts had. It's based off a book, so it's really kind of hard to control the story with this film, but I still feel like the ending and the third act, they felt really out of place compared to the first two acts. It's in a whole different setting. I wish I would have altered it a little bit, honestly, to make it work better. And, you know, I know they're honoring Roald Dahl's book and everything, but I wish they would have done something with it to make it a little bit different. Like, the way they did it in the ending, it just kind of fell apart for me, and I was just like, where are they going with this film? What are they doing? There's almost no cleverness in it like the first two acts. The ending, like I said, feels like a cop-out, feels very lazy. I'm going to discuss more of it after the review. I'll put a spoiler there if you want to hear it or if you've seen the movie. Another small complaint I have, some of the scenes do drag on for a little bit too long, but that's a very small complaint. Most of the writing and the pacing is very well done. Guys, the BFG feels like a throwback to a classic Disney film in the first two acts. Spielberg, I think, was still the perfect choice to direct this film, and the script is full of witty jokes and clever dialogue throughout it. Even with that, the third act departs from what made the first two acts great, and a lot of people, I think, will be disappointed by the end of it, feeling like they're missing something or like something went wrong, you know, because it feels very different. It felt very rushed. Because of that, I'm going to say that the BFG would probably be a better time at a matinee price. If you love classic Disney films like this, that like bring a fantasy world to life, you know, stuff like that, there's a lot to love in this film, guys. Don't let the third act scare you away from seeing this film, because it is a really good film. I did enjoy it a lot. So my next reviews are going to be for The Secret Life of Pets and Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. That should be an interesting one. Alright, so here is my spoilers for the BFG. If you have not seen the BFG, this is your final warning, or if you just don't care, you know, you can just stick around and listen to it. I'm going to talk about the ending and why I didn't like it. So here we go. So the ending, you know, they go to London and they meet up with the Queen and everything, and, you know, they do the whole dream thing with her. It's supposed to be like kind of clever, like, oh, we're mixing up this whole dream, but it's like, you know, they just put a dream together and they just, I guess, put in the Queen. As weird as that sounds. And then they pretty much let the military get the giants, you know, they have like a whole scene getting everybody together in the castle and everything. Like, oh, we need to assemble everybody. Here's our plan. We got a whole plan. And the plan is pretty much just, oh, go to Giant Land, give them the bad dreams, and then the military take care of them. Like, that felt so lazy, like such a cop-out to me. And I thought at that point, especially when they had the military come in and like take them away. I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, I had no idea how to even like go about that. It was just so lazy, and it lost a lot of its charm. I wish they did something more creative with it, even though it is, I guess, accurate to the book or whatever like that. They can alter it. They've altered stuff like this in movies before. I thought it felt very out of place, guys, and I thought that the ending was very disappointing. So thanks for listening, guys. Stay tuned for next week, like I said, and I'll see you later.
Rated M for movies.